Hopefully that decision maker is a real leader, right? There's a reason why that person is there.
And hopefully those learnings from the pandemic will not be lost.
I can say the same. It's never been better than now.
When we think we figure out something, the world changes and we have to figure it out again.
Welcome back, everyone, to the last part of this episode called Shaking Up the World of Work. As a reminder, it was a live event, and in this part, we opened it up to the questions from the audience. And together with Bilge, Apak, and Potrykus, we did the best we could to engage in the conversation, which ranged from hybrid ways of working to how to influence leaders in embracing, testing, experimenting new and different ways of looking at work. So here we are with the first question from Henrik.
I have a question on how you organize yourself, because I understand you work basically very closely. Do you have an office together? Do you work completely from home? How do you basically manage kind of the operational part of the business? Because I myself, I'm also self-employed. I have my own company, a one-man show, so it's way easier because I have to just decide with myself. But how do you do these things? Just curious to hear.
We never had an office, only for the organization of the event, right? We are a bigger team than who we are, just the two of us here. So we needed an office back then, which we used until the COVID lockdown came, so for 6 months. But apart from that, for the event, we were always international team. So two of us were here, one in Berlin, two people in Romania. Now we have one person in Czech Republic. So we never needed an office. If we needed to work together, there was always co-working spaces plus our flats. I spent a lot of time at Ola's place, or Ola spent a lot of time in my place. Right now, how we do it is basically we have some hours that are together that we don't talk. We just turn PC on. We turn off the video and we just work together. So I hear her typing, and it helps a lot.
Or in chat, like, I wrote to this person, or I got a reply, and it just replicates a bit the in the office experience.
And I actually, really like that because we can still have these spontaneous moments of talking. But kudos to people who are working alone. That's a big job. And when we started with WeWent, the first thing I said to Ola, I don't want to be alone in this, so I need you. Let's get together. So, but there's a big movement towards, becoming a freelancer. But those people also need kind of a network, I think, to be part of, belong to like-minded people.
I have to admit that maybe at the beginning, when people asked, do you have an office, or where's your office, they kind of assumed that we would have an office. I was a little bit, not ashamed. That's probably too big of a word, but I felt a bit uncomfortable with answering that question. Today, everybody's in their home office anyway, so it's a completely different reality. But it's actually, why would we spend money on an office where we have, we are lucky to have apartments that really allow us to work from home very comfortably. So no need to spend money if you don't have to. Don't. And there are ways to, send your post somewhere to a registered address and so on. So I wouldn't say this is the best investment you can do when you start your business, an office. Yeah.
Absolutely. Henrik, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a really, you hit the trend, because I also wonder, in the meantime, especially now with the pandemics, all the companies renting office spaces, I think there'll be next crisis coming up, because there's so much going on in direction remote work or hybrid models, even in established large companies, which I my clients, for example, say the same. They will reduce office space because it doesn't make any sense anymore that everyone comes to office 5 days a week. So interesting trends, but great, and good luck to you. I think it's a great kind of journey you are on. So enjoy it, and all the best.
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
More questions.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Hi, Anna.
From Zurich. I'm also coach. Very interesting to learn more about you. I was trying to reach to come to your event in Zurich, but unfortunately I already had some other conference that Monday. And I wanted to ask you, how do you plan to make companies aware about this change? That the workplace is not really a happy place, and how are you coming towards the companies without pointing the finger and getting them on board, getting them motivated to change that together with you? I find that very difficult, so I try to also address companies and to draw attention to burnout mostly and other issues. And sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. So, I'm just curious, how do you approach that?
Great question, Anna. And I think my reaction to that is, we've tried, and we even heard from our network, like, oh, my employer needs help, and we knocked on their door, but we are not met with a lot of interest. And I think you have to accept that you will not change immediately everybody, and I think we also accept that we don't go to everybody immediately, and it's so much easier to go with the ones who are already kind of eager themselves to do something different and to change, to shake things up, and it's really this pull approach rather than push. Like, you cannot push these things on organizations. The other way to go about it is, rather than looking at the entire organization, maybe you look at a specific team or a specific leader or a specific department or function. You start on a more micro level, and then if that's a success and if you prove it, then you can go to the next one, and maybe people will start getting interested. How did you do it? What did you do? And so, I think trying to save the world is a huge ambition. So step by step.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna approach also from another perspective. Business have different priorities, right? So you need to look at where the priority is and speak that language, if you ask me. So if that is ROI, or if that is making more sales, and we are talking about people. If you want to keep people productive, you don't want to go let them go for a sick leave for a month. If that's where it's going to end, right? So basically, you need to take where the priorities and speak that language and make the dots connection to the health or mental challenge aspect.
If you have any magic strategies to share with us, Anna, as well, on how to do that, and how to change the conversation, and how to also tickle, I think, the interest, as opposed to impose. And I guess we're not talking about imposing, but it is, I think, also through these conversations, is a bit tickling the curiosity, the interest, and saying, well, why is this actually that important? But if you have things you would like to share with us as well on how you would go about it, happy to hear.
I love this concept of 4 weeks work day, week, sorry, and just working for days a week, and I think you tackled that in your conference. And as I said, I really wanted to be there, but I promise I will be at the next one. And just show them the science. I think meditation helps show them the science. Like really do a training or something and measure results and show them results and testimonials and what people say. And I think as you said and Aleksandra said, the world can be changed by being a drop in the ocean, by doing things systematically and being there, showing up and doing a little bit every day, like talking to each people, telling them about yourself, and they can go and talk to their organization. So I think that's something I believe as well in doing, and this is also my discovery. If I can support, I'm actually doing my part, and I'm happy to see that you also exist and that you have the same mind.
Thanks.
It's definitely a big help for a professional like us.
More questions or comments as we are reaching 3:15.
Hi, I'm Josefina. I'm in Madrid. It's so nice to reconnect with Paola. It was very, very interesting. I think we're all struggling. Even when we used to work in corporate, we were all struggling for connection and the way people connect, leadership, whatever, right? PRs, effective. And now with the pandemic and the remote working, I don't know, for me, the problem is still the same, right? The underlying issues below the iceberg continue to be the same, and this ability to have people connecting and build something from there, but the way that shows it's now much more complex. So when we think we figure out something, the world changes and we have to figure it out again. And I think staying in curiosity and exploring everything everybody's doing, it's at least at the center of what I'm doing, and it was super nice to be in a conversation hearing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Ciao, chiquita. It has been.
Estás linda.
Ciao, estás linda tú, ciao. We'll connect.
Not one day has gone through.
No, only 20, but I'm still a millennial at heart.
You do look like as well.
Yes. Or Generation Z maybe at heart.
Generation Z, even. Generation to be born. Who wants to be part of the generation who's yet to be born? Raise your hand.
Yes and no. I don't know.
No, Chiara, you say no. Oh, well. We should explore that.
Do you really want to start all over? Really? No.
Exactly.
I am never going to trade my 46 years of wisdom.
I can say the same. It's never been better than now. So
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, so we're the generation now.
We are an amazing gang here, yes.
Yes.
Maybe, I mean, if the questions are not coming, one of the things we are looking at next is a hybrid workplace. And I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that. Maybe we can have a bit of an exchange. So the pandemic pushed us all to work online and fully from home. But, and you will see in every publication from HBR to Forbes to Economist, all the thought provokers in the world are talking about, you know, the new challenge of the hybrid workplace, where we will blend the two worlds together. And we are currently preparing an exciting product.
It never stops.
Yes. We will not do an event this year because it's too ambiguous. And rather than doing one day, somebody's still joining, so I'm going to admit them. What I was saying is, instead of doing one-off event in one day, we'll do a series of different workshops, academies that people will be able to join throughout the time, and this will be more focused. And the first one that we will do is hybrid workplace, looking at kind of peeling the onion of hybrid workplace. You know, what are the challenges, what are the learnings we took from pandemic, what is the culture that we want to create in the hybrid workplace, trust, psychological safety, technology and tools, and then well-being again. So we are going again around our core topics, but with a lens now of hybrid workplace. So I'm just curious if it's something that you can relate to, if you're hearing it in your organizations. Curious about your reactions.
Ola, thank you so much for bringing this up. This is my cue to contribute. It's nice to see everybody. I can recognize a couple of faces here, so it's nice to see everyone joining in. I can say that I'm a very big fan of hybrid anything, really. I mean, I don't like anything too traditional, and it's just maybe my personality, but also my background. I'm also a millennial myself, and I've been working from home for quite a long time. So it's also because my profession allows me to have this flexibility. I work in a recruitment function, and this is also something that you can do independently from home. You know, you're mostly engaged virtually, or whatever kind of option that we have available for us these days. But I can relate to what you guys mentioned earlier, that it does come to a level of fatigue, because whilst you are trying to be present on every virtual
platform out there, it does get to a point where you're missing out on that human interaction. And in that sense, I think a hybrid solution could help us get the best out of both worlds, not necessarily overdrain our energy, because you're going to also pay more attention when you are on the screen. You don't necessarily interact with somebody and pay attention to yourself that much. So it takes some of that energy away. But in any case, going back to the hybrid workplace, I would definitely see still a place for gathering and a place maybe for meeting and interacting with your teams more effectively. Whereas, still holding on to our flexibility and work from home, which I think would still be a solution for the future. It's very difficult for me to see now everybody going back to the office 100%. After we've actually experimented working from home and flexibly from everywhere for such a long time.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Feel free to join in here, but I'm all for hybrid.
Thanks for the reaction, Irina. And there are studies done on different companies. We have yes, Federica. Go.
Sorry to bother. At first, I was the one asking for the prices.
Hi, Federica. Nice to meet you.
It's a coming out moment.
Yeah, we appreciate.
No, dears. First, it's really cool because I love to hear the different ideas from people and the reactions. Secondly, sorry for the questions, but again, Paula, she was right. I've been working more than almost 25 years as a marketing head. So for me, and this is a forward, everything is money, investment, and something that goes well for a company, whatever the company was. I think I was really impressed about the Irina comment, which is this kind of how can I say, balance between the non-real world, which means exactly the Zoom, etc., where you really need to stay focused because you cannot lose time, and the event that I've seen. And I was asking for the price. My question was, how do you get to the core of the decision makers to exactly foster this new way of feeding the brain, which again, in my opinion, is 70%, or let's say 50% real life and 50%, or what I talk real life means looking at somebody with a body, and 50% like that. And I wanted to ask these questions, well, to everyone, but especially to Ola and oh my God, the name is and I loved because she's very, very pragmatic like me. So let me know. How do you think you can get into the brain or the decisions of the decision makers?
Which is similar to what Anna was also kind of alluding to from a different perspective, but you're also taking it from how to influence the decision makers, the ones that are going to be investing that money in the development of people in organizations that may belong or may have a different paradigm and way of thinking.
I think Bilge already kind of answered, look at their goals and talk business language, productivity gains, business results. That normally is the way. I think I had to educate myself to talk more numbers, statistics, insights, and I'm definitely less pragmatic than Bilge, Federica, I have to say. But it's a skill that you learn as a business owner and that you obtain. And I think still there is something about chemistry, I have to say, apart from having this the human to human conversation and not forcing it, because if we don't have the common ground, then I'm not gonna beg forever, right? And there needs to be a will on the other side. I think that's an element to success as well.
I can jump in, Paola, also. Sorry. I think at the end of the day, it's all about what's in it for the person, right? It's all about identifying their pain point and making sure that we ask questions more than provide solutions. Because trying to push it, yes, of course, you can come with all the numbers of the world, all the statistics, but if there is no pain point that you're really nagging, you're really saying it in their face, you're not solving a problem that is still latent, they're not going to be wanting to invest. So I think there is a different level of readiness of companies, organization, of people, individuals, and you're going to find those that are ready, that are there. So what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. You're not always ready. Even if from external you look at like, oh, this organization needs it like water.
Yes.
But if they don't recognize it, there is no way. They're not going to get into it. So I think it's really important to ask questions. And I'm sure you do it all the time, because that's how, as entrepreneurs, this is how we understand how we can relate to the counterpart, to our customers. And it's really about answering pain points.
Very true. Very true.
And Bilge, you wanted to add something perhaps on that?
Yeah, I wanted to say, hopefully that decision maker is a real leader, right? There's a reason why that person is there. And I believe that person continues to develop herself or himself, that will understand the needs. And whenever there's an opportunity comes across, that she will take the right decision or he will take the right decision. So yeah, we cannot push people, but also I believe in natural selection. That person is going to be there for a reason, company culture or people who will support that person to be there. Otherwise, the company will slowly lose, maybe just in that little function, not whole as a whole, but I believe there's a reason why those people are there, and they're not going to be there next year if they're the wrong people.
If I can add one thought on this topic is, I have recently two customers, one in Italy, one in northern Italy, one in southwest Germany, smaller companies, and actually the same topics were very first there was the shock of the pandemics where suddenly people could partly not even come to office, like in northern Italy they had complete ban, anyone who is not in production must work from home. So the big shock to some of the managers, how do I trust my people? Because this is, to me, this is one of the critical things, trust your team. Because if you see your people in action because they're sitting in the office, it's very easy for the manager. But how do I organize work? How do I make sure people, wherever they are, if I don't see them, that they actually do the work and do it in the right way? So a lot of this is, I think, to really help also the management to lead by trust, lead by example, lead by goal setting, by having clear expectations on all those topics. So and I think we'll be thankful to the pandemics for this kind of abrupt shift to this, because if it didn't happen, it would take decades to really move it to where we are today.
Absolutely. And hopefully those learnings from the pandemic will not be lost, and there will be maybe temptation in some organizations to just go back to the normal, but they will be faced with a lot of challenge for sure, because we all redefined our lives, I think, in the last year, how we cope with the challenges, and going back to the office 5 days a day is probably not incentivizing as much as it used to be. So let's see. That's why I want to talk about hybrid next.
Very good. So maybe that could be the next topic of our event or our get together, because it is spot on 3:31. And I do want to be very mindful of people's time, because time is important, like we were talking about before, and people taking ownership of their own time. And a big thank you to Bilge and to Ola for being here. And as I said, we are actually here in the new normal, physically together, sharing the space. Federica, to your point, we're trying to work hybridly too, having Zoom sessions, but the importance of also having human face-to-face encounters. I'm still a fundamental believer in that. Hey, good. So looking forward to the next time. Keep us updated on your programs, your ideas, your events. Everybody who's been on this call is going to get a discount, right?
For sure.
See, Federica's going to be organizing the marketing budget, so she's going to push the prices super high. So don't worry about that. You're going to get a good return on investment. And with that, I want to thank all of you for joining, for spending the time together with us. As you can see, Bilge and well, Ola looks.
So here we are, we've reached the end of this episode of Shaking Up the World of Work. Make sure you tune in to the next upcoming episode where I'm joined by Gloria Zhang from Singapore. She has a wonderful story to tell, and it's all about not shortchanging on your dreams. So make sure you tune in to hear her story on how she has followed her dreams, but first, how she discovered them. Until the next time, as always, do take good care.